Hello and welcome to this episode of Essex by the Sea. I'm Owen Ward, exploring the Essex coast, finding out about all the amazing and interesting stories it has to offer. For this episode, it is really early in the morning. The sun is rising over the Thames estuary. Well, it would be if it wasn't cloudy and windy and a very autumnal day. I'm at Chalkwall, right next to the railway station, as commuters begin to head off into London to start their day's work. But there's a group of people, probably 40 or 50 people here, who are not heading off to work. They're heading for an early morning swim. Lisa Munger is one of the lead people who's organising this. Lisa, thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you. No, thanks for having me.
Why are there so many people here, I must say scantily clad, on the seafront?
Yeah, so many people with their kit off. So we are the Blue Tits of Leigh-on-Sea. We're a cold water swimming group. We've been running since October last year. It's our first birthday actually on the 10th of October. But today is World Blue Tit Day, the first World Blue Tit Day. The Blue Tits is an organisation that is not just nationwide but international, and just a completely inclusive group of people, just offering the opportunity for community, for getting in the sea and experiencing all the benefits of the cold water.
Now, it's, I guess, going to be cold today. Is there any point where the Thames is warm?
It's been luscious actually in this summer. It's been really lovely. It's getting a bit colder now, but it's still quite warm, to be honest. It starts to kind of gradually get colder over the coming months, but I'm really looking forward to that. Most people are, if you've done the real cold water, if you've done the winter swims, you're actually almost craving that real cold. Which I know sounds weird.
I was going to say, what is it then about the cold water? I mean, I'd rather be in a nice warm swimming pool personally.
It's really odd. Even so, we've got lots of members who say exactly the same. Who say they hate the cold. They don't like being. They would never kind of have a cold shower or a cold bath, and they don't even go in the sea when they go on holiday. But there's just something, once you've experienced it, the benefits that you get from it. So it invigorates, it calms, it de-stresses, it makes you feel amazing. It makes you feel absolutely amazing. Sorry, I don't know what's going on in the background. They're all huddling together.
I'm a little booted, I swim all year long. I jump in the water and splash like my water. I'm a little booted, I have lots of fun. I swim when it's icy, but not if it's icy. I'm a little booted, I've got lots of chums. I'm a little booted, I swim and I'm loving it. I'm a little booted, I swim all year long. Our flock is so raucous, you think we were hawkers. I'm a little booted, the fisherman's friends. They think we're all bonkers, and they are just bonkers. I'm a little booted, I swim when I want. I'm a little booted, I swim and I'm loving it. I'm a little booted, and this is my song.
One of the lines there, Lisa, people think I'm a plonker or something along those lines.
No, they think we're bonkers, but they're all just plonkers.
Do a lot of people think that?
Yeah, I think it's, unless you've tried it, it does look a bit mad. You are stripping off and just running into the sea, which is something, particularly when it's cold, that maybe unless you've tried it and experienced how good it feels, that you would think was a little bit bonkers. But
so how many people then have you got part of the Blue Tits here in Southend and South Essex?
So in Leigh-on-Sea we've got over 2,000 members. So in a year it's grown to 2,000 people. I would estimate around about 750, 800 of those have actually swum, but because we started in lockdown, we've all had to swim individually at times, just in pairs, or swim in small groups of 6. So it's really difficult to know. This is a really new phenomenon for us, all kind of getting together as a big group.
So usually perhaps there'll be one or two, maybe a small group of you that's going out. But this whole group and the singing is just put on specially for me, is it?
No. So because it's World Blue Tit Day, it is we are doing a big organised group swim. We do group swims once or twice a month, like organised, where we're as many people there as possible. They normally have 40 to 50 people out, and they're really good opportunities particularly for new people, to experience getting into the sea, because it can be daunting. It is challenging, particularly as it gets colder. It does challenge your body. It challenges your mind also. And that's also a big part of being a blue tit. Is one of the core values is challenging our limits together.
What I've noticed, and as you might be able to hear in the background, as everybody now, apart from you, Lisa, unfortunately, goes into the water, mostly female.
It is mostly female. We have got quite a lot of male members. It does tend to be mostly female. Cold water swimming does tend to affect men. Do feel the cold more, so women maybe find it less uncomfortable at that first bit when they first get in. However, we are fully inclusive, so we have kids that are part of our flock. We've got whatever background, whatever age, we are totally inclusive and anyone is welcome. There's no minimum swimming level required. If people want to just get in and paddle up to their ankles, then that's totally fine with us. So
now it is rather windy. The waves are breaking onto the beach. I mean, I guess there's a point where you have to go, no, actually it's a little bit too rough today. Just can't quite go out today. Or do you go out in all weathers? So you always keep safety in mind. We're quite lucky here in that the estuary, particularly if we are kind of, you've probably noticed people are just kind of bobbing about a bit. Some people will actually go for a swim if the conditions are right. So always kind of mindful of the safety, but particularly as it gets colder, that becomes really important as well, like kind of warming up when you've got out of the water, not staying in there for too long, because it is really important. It can be dangerous, so we always advise never to swim alone, always go with a buddy. So yeah, just there's not many. Actually, the only other thing that we do watch is the water quality. So there's an app that we use, the Safer Seas app, which does indicate if the water quality is poor, which it can be if you've had a storm. The kind of surface water runoff can make the water quality quite poor, but it's still down to people to choose. So if they want to swim, then that's up to them. We don't kind of dictate what they do, and if you're not going in and underneath the water and kind of swallowing it, then that's up to people to make their own judgment. Now, that was one of the things I was going to ask in terms of the quality, because the Thames in the past has been quite a polluted river, but the water quality now, okay, yes, after the storm there might be the day or two where it's not very nice, but actually it's really nice, is it?
Yeah, it's a lot better, but it could be even better. It is generally really good, but we have been petitioning for our MP to raise the subject and to kind of really push for improvements in the water quality, so that it's even more usable. So I mean, how wonderful is that? Kind of seeing people use the amazing space that we've got and be more outdoors. I think that's been a really cool thing from the last year and a half, of seeing people be outside more and really kind of connect with nature. So.
Yeah, and I can see the swimming hats predominantly bobbing up and down. You go quite a way out, I guess. Actually, knowing what it's like down here in Southend, the tide obviously goes out a long way. It's in today, thankfully. Otherwise, it's quite a long walk.
It is, yeah. We are dictated to by the tide, so you get about an hour and a half either side of high tide here. You get a bit longer the further you go up towards Shoebury. But yeah, about an hour and a half either side.
So how long are you going to be swimming for this morning, Lisa?
I'm not really sure. About 15 minutes, maybe. Depending on how it feels when you're in there. You don't necessarily kind of set this is how long it is, but as a general rule, if you're just starting out, just kind of aim for a minute per degree of water temperature.
Right, okay, so if it's cold, it's going to be a short swim.
If it's cold, it's a short swim, but that's all you need.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, Lisa, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Really, there's only me and you left, still with our kit on and not in the water. Now, sadly, I have forgotten my swimming trunks. What a shame.
That is a shame. But you need to come back and swim with us, maybe when the weather is maybe when it's not quite so early.
Maybe not quite so early, and when the sun is shining, that might be quite nice, and it's not the 1st of October. Lisa, thank you ever so much for joining me. I'll let you get in and enjoy your swim. It's amazing how many people are down here in the water now, taking part and enjoying the embracing sea, air and water that is the Thames down here in Chalkwell. Thank you very much to Lisa. Thank you to the Blue Tits of Lee for having me this morning and for the little rendition of their song. And thank you for listening to Essex by the Sea. Don't forget you can subscribe on social media on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So until next time, thanks very much for listening.